Bon appétit. In French, we say bon appétit, but I can see that nobody's eating. Oh, yeah, a couple of people are still eating. So thank you so much to ICTC for this wonderful refreshment. It was nice. Thank you. We really appreciate that. And we hope that you guys have spent nice time networking, chatting, you know. It's always a good moment to take new contact, to see new person, and it was amazing. Thank you, merci beaucoup. À présent, nous allons continuer avec notre programme de la journée. And there is something that we have been all waiting. On attendait tous de l'entendre. Notre principale speakeresse de la journée, Madame Ashley Wright, qui est déjà avec nous dans la salle. She's here, Ashley Wright. And in just a couple of minutes, she will come here to entertain us. So I know a lot of us have heard about Bitcoin. Have you heard about Bitcoin? Yes? No? A little bit? What about Ethereum? Yes? No? Bitcoin, no. Sorry? Bitcoin? Only. So what about Ethereum? Not yet? And what about the blockchain? No? Correct. Exact. So I'm sure we will all enjoy having more insight about all these complex and complicated words, and while Ashley will just drive us slowly and smoothly through this moment. We are looking forward all your questions, okay? She is so happy to have a wonderful exchange time with you. So keep all your questions, everything. I told her, you know, actually I tried Bitcoin and then I tried Ethereum, but I'm not yet rich. So I'm expecting her to tell me the key today to go back home and, you know, start something. So I'm just going to leave us 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we will just introduce Ashley, and she will be coming here to discuss about the subject with us. Just to remember, our day is moving forward very well. Right now, we are moving with the keynote speaker, who will be Ashley. And then after Ashley, ICTC thought that it might be useful for us to have a workshop. You know, we have been listening a lot today. What about practicing a little bit? So we will get another workshop. It will be time to exchange and to discuss, and that will come after the keynote speaker. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, c'est un plaisir pour nous de recevoir ici dans quelques instants seulement Madame Ashley Wright, qui va venir nous entretenir sur la complexe question de la crypto-monnaie et de tout ce qui va avec. Là, ce sera un moment très intéressant pour nous de pouvoir, comme on dit en anglais, dive into it. On va essayer de plonger dans la crypto. On va voir également comment est-ce que Madame Ashley travaille pour, à son tour, contribuer à bâtir l'économie digitale canadienne. Donc, ce sera un plaisir pour nous de la recevoir ici et puis d'échanger avec elle. Et bien sûr, elle me le disait tantôt, elle sera vraiment ravie d'échanger avec vous. Alors, n'hésitez pas à lui poser des questions, n'hésitez pas à interagir avec elle, ça lui fera plaisir. Ce sera un exposé, mais un exposé très, très enrichissant. Alors, on y est? So I have the pleasure now to introduce Miss Ashley Wright, and maybe before introducing her, I'm going to give you some insight about her. So who is Ashley Wright? So Ashley Wright is a crypto and blockchain educator and community builder. She seems so small, but so talented. There is a beautiful contrast in that amazing lady, and I love her so much. So Ashley has an educational background in business management and human resources, and she spent over 3 years working for one of the largest financial institutions here in Canada, and then after that, she spent another 4 years in marketing and direct sales force, and finally, she decided to start her own business in fintech and financial literacy. That's why she has been known as an educator in the field. So, since getting involved in the blockchain and cryptocurrency in 2016, Ashley launches the Crypto Strategy Academy. And what is this academy? It's a 7-week crypto and blockchain coaching program. Okay? So you guys know where to go now if you want to get rich. The academy. And she also wrote a book. And the book is the Crypto Strategy Workbook for Youth. It is an interactive workbook that teaches youth about crypto, NFTs, and blockchain. And she also founded FemTech 3. It's a kind of a global community for women in tech and Black on blockchain. And that is a wonderful initiative to increase the representation of the Black community in the crypto and on the web. So the cryptocurrency, the blockchain, will no longer be out of reach of the Black community through Ashley because she's having this wonderful program. So it is for me a tremendous honor to introduce and to invite here on the stage of the ICTC, Miss Ashley Wright, and she will be entertaining us on the cryptocurrency and the blockchain. Is she there? Yes! Sorry, Ashley, I didn't see you. You were just sitting in the back. So let's welcome Ashley, please, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Ashley.
How's everybody doing? Okay, I might be small, but I love a lot of energy. So let's try that again. How's everybody doing? Okay, amazing, amazing. I'm so excited, so pumped to be here. You all look so amazing, and I love the ladies with the bright colors. Shout you guys out because you guys look great. But I'm so pumped and so excited. And actually, even before I jump in and start with today's conversation, one of the things that I always love to do at the beginning of any session is an affirmation. So if you can, real quickly, just stand up for me. Just stand up, stand up, stand up. And this is something that I always start at the end of my at the beginning of my presentation because I believe affirmations are so powerful. Anything in this world that you want to accomplish, you can 100% accomplish it. And speaking it into existence and being able to visualize your goals, that is one of the best and fastest ways to get that and to realize it. So I want you to say it with me. It's possible. It's necessary. It's worth it. Now we're going to say it one more time, but I want you to think about your goals, your dreams, everything you want to accomplish in your life. And I want you to say it as if you're saying it to your younger self, right? Letting them know about what is possible for them. So one more time, it's possible. It's necessary. It's worth it. Awesome. We're going to get started. You can take a seat. Perfect, perfect. So I'm so pumped to be here. As you guys heard, with my bio, a lot of, I guess, fancy stuff. I'm the founder of the Wright Success, which is a business that I created, founder of FemTech, which is a really great community to help more women get into the tech space of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And then also the author of the Crypto Workbook for Youth, because I find a lot of youth are so excited about technology, and they just learn so quickly. And I found there was a gap when it comes to youth being able to find credible resources to learn about this innovative technology that unfortunately we don't have enough information about. So was able to create some great resources. But before we dive into all of that, really want to cover, how it all started for me in my story. And nothing fancy, just the average, girl wanted to be a fashion designer, essentially when growing up. Went to school, studied at Sheridan College, studied human resources, and business administration. With my passion on the side, of course, with fashion, I ended up doing some co-op and learned how to sew and all that good stuff. After that, I ended up working at one of the large financial institutions. TD Bank was there for about 3.5 years. And I'm also the oldest of 3. My parents, immigrants, of course, from Jamaica, which is really awesome. I see got some Jamaicans in the room, or Caribbeans. I love it. But like I said, just the average girl. And what really shifted a lot for me, and you know, some people may or may not have this opportunity as well, is really about the people around you. So at a young age, my parents were working at the bank, working for like 20 years, and then they decided to start their own business in marketing and direct sales. And I was very young. I like to say, you know, I started my first business or was around that atmosphere at around 16 or 17 years old. And being around that opportunity and learning how to work and build a business, how to build a team, what does it mean to work on self-development and kind of retrain your mind to be different, to think differently. Right? As an entrepreneur, as an individual that is focused on self-development, I was able to learn a lot of those skills. And so the part that really excites me is, as I was going through that journey, I went from wanting to be a fashion designer to wanting to be an entrepreneur. And yet I had no idea how to do that or which industry I wanted to be in. But what really was the game changer is my mindset. I decided to be very open-minded. I decided to network strategically and also learned how to really master myself in terms of my thoughts, my actions, and how to really move strategically. So I knew I wanted to start a business, didn't know what I wanted to do. And it wasn't until about 2016 that I actually overheard my parents talking about Bitcoin. Has anybody heard of Bitcoin before, just by show of hands? Okay, I love it. Almost everybody, I love it. And so it's 2016. I overheard them talking about Bitcoin. I'm just looking at them, I'm like, these people are crazy. Digital currency, like what is that? No one's ever said anything like that before. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? They keep bugging me to, you know, try it out. And so I took about $300, went online, on one of those crypto exchange platforms, invested in Bitcoin, totally forgot about it for several months, and then I logged back in, and that $300 grew to almost $900 within just a few months. And I'm like, I don't know how this works or what this is, but I want to do that again. So I got really excited, and like I said, I had no tech, I didn't come from a tech background, but I wanted to learn more about how this really worked and what it was. And one of the things that really drives me, and a lot of times people ask me, you know, why did I get into this space? What made me keep going? And the main thing is understanding technology and understanding opportunity, right? Being at the right place at the right time. And we've all seen, you know, for those that remember Blockbuster to now with Netflix, right? Or another example, we have taxis now with change to Uber, right? Technology changes the game in every single industry. And that's what kept me going. Even though when I would go to events and, you know, no one really looks like me, there was much less any women, right? Probably a handful, I would say, of women. And I was always maybe the only or one of 2 black individuals in the room. And this one fact of understanding technology and how it changes the game and having that vision, that's what really kept me going. And so when we think about how it's going today, you know, things are very good. Had the opportunity to speak at a lot of events, which is awesome. Also really passionate, like I mentioned, helping more women get into the tech space because we need more. And so, you know, the great opportunity, the great community that we're building with women, we help create a lot of great events and educational resources across North America, and really helping them become founders in tech, become builders, right, developers, or if they want to be a business owner in tech, they can also do that, which is also really exciting. So there's a lot of opportunities in this space. However, even though now, 2024, a lot of times when I go to these conferences, there's still that diversity gap. right? Like I mentioned, there's still a lot more women that are now, in the space, but even, as a woman of color, there still needs more diversity when it comes to this tech sector. And that's really what my mission is, to ensure that we're talking about it, we're having those conversations, and then also making sure that we are creating a space, and more importantly, making sure the information of this amazing industry is accessible to everybody, even our youth, which is why I created some resources for them. And to be honest with you, which is, I guess the side fact, I've had the opportunity, I think over the past 12 months now, to speak and educate over maybe about 200 or 250 youth. And every single time when I say, hey, have you heard of Bitcoin? Just raise your hand. It's like 99% of them always have heard of it before. But they have no idea where to go, who to trust. And a lot of times the parents are like, well, I don't really know enough about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and this tech myself. I don't know where to point them to, right? And so that's why I'm also really passionate about getting the youth involved, making sure they understand how to get involved, why it's important, but even more specifically for our community to use this as an opportunity to take advantage for those that missed out on the Netflix, right, or the Uber, right? I really, truly believe this is the next wave when it comes to this industry. Now, just by a show of hands, who's actually invested in this industry at the moment? Okay, a few of you. Okay, perfect. Has anybody heard of blockchain technology before? Okay, I love it. I love it. The part that really excites me is, number one, right, crypto, of course, is exciting, right? It's a really change in the game in terms of how we think about money, right? I like to think of the evolution of money when we think about what money has looked like over the years, right? Starting out with like barter and gold coins, of course, physical cash, and now with literally you can just tap your watch, you tap your phone, everything's digital, right? You go to some places, they literally say it's a cashless place, like they don't want cash anymore. And I don't know if some of you have heard, but the Canadian government has already talked about the fact that they're looking to introduce a digital currency, specifically, the Canadian digital currency, I should say, right? And that's already in the works of what they're looking to do. So everything is going to be digital. The goal is, how do you want to get involved? And do you want to make sure you're in front of it so you can actually participate and take advantage of it? The truth is, it may sound intimidating when people are throwing out these words of like NFTs, blockchain technology, but the truth is, a lot of it is really just about how they're communicating it to you and making it easy to understand. Does that make sense? Say yes or yes? Yes? Let's try it again. Say yes? All right. I love it. Perfect. Now, one thing I wanted to kind of touch on too before I move forward is my experience as a Black woman in this tech sector. I mentioned that there's still some gaps when it comes to diversity, but at the same time, there's still a lot of opportunity. I have the opportunity to be around a lot of great organizations that are focused on providing resources and funding to the Black community, and there are amazing Black professionals that are in this that are in tech, right, in general. And why I'm so passionate, and also why I started an initiative called Blacks on Blockchain, is to ensure that we are getting access to this education so we can get more of the community involved in this tech sector. Because a lot of times there's so many opportunities, people just don't know about it, and that's why people miss it, right? And so I'm very passionate about that, and most importantly, making sure that it's digestible information, but at the same time it's accessible, which is really exciting. Now, I also wanted to share 5 life-changing rules for success, 5 areas or things that were really game-changing for me in my journey. Because like I said, I went from wanting to be a fashion designer to now being an educator within the tech sector, right? And so the first one is surrounding yourself with positive people, content, energy, and self-talk. And it sounds so simple, but the truth is, sometimes the self-talk part is tough. It's really tough, especially as a woman. But we have our own doubts. We have our own things that we kind of criticize. We're always our worst critic, right? So being able to overcome some of these pieces and making sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people makes a huge, 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 huge difference. And on the next few slides, I'm also going to be sharing some resources that actually helped me when it came to like confidence, when it came to self-talk when it came to being positive that also not only helped me to become better, but also my business, okay? Number 2, I decided to believe in myself regardless of others. As we are building businesses, as we are growing our careers, or more specifically, even just operating in tech, a lot of times it goes back to us being able to believe in ourselves, right? I remember so many times, and it still happens, where you have the self-doubt or the lack of confidence. But what I can say, and I think one of the biggest pieces for me in my journey, I remember when I had my first event, first ever like crypto workshop. I think it was like, I don't know, 2018 maybe. And it was actually in Brampton, at a Brampton library. I had people come out to do my first workshop. And I was so nervous, never did anything like this before. But I decided to focus on what I was passionate about. I focused on the mission, which was to educate people. And I did it to the best of my abilities. And that event was amazing, right? And a lot of times, and what has helped me the most with the believe in yourself piece is looking back at all the amazing things you've been able to accomplish, reflecting on that. And if you're like, hey, if I can do X, Y, and Z, there's no reason I can't do everything else. And that's what also helped to keep me going quite a bit as well. Number 3, constantly pushing myself and being uncomfortable. The cryptocurrencies in blockchain space definitely can be an uncomfortable space or uncomfortable conversation, but pushing yourself and getting into those spaces is what's gonna help you to level up. One of the biggest reasons, and I'm not gonna ask the question here, but a lot of times people come up to me and they're like, hey, you know, I heard about Bitcoin back in 2010, 2011, but I didn't get involved. And why? Number 1 is usually because lack of vision, or maybe it just seems uncomfortable, right? Or lack of education getting involved, right? Now, the good thing is, for everybody that's here, you know, there's still opportunities to get involved. You know, not financial advice. Have to put the disclaimer. But the point is, getting uncomfortable is how you position yourself and get in front of a lot of those amazing opportunities. Would you guys agree? Yes or yes? Yes, exactly. Number 4 is I was open to learning and trying new things. Like I said, with crypto, I had no tech background, none. And I'm not, you know, technical when it comes to coding and all of that as well. But I understood the opportunity with technology. And I'm like, listen, I don't know how it works, but I'm going to learn it. Regardless of what opportunities are there, regardless of the fact that there was a lack of educational resources or the fact that there wasn't a lot of women or women of color in this space, I'm like, I see the opportunity. I don't want to let this miss me. I want to get involved and I want to learn. And so I attended a lot of conferences, a lot of events, talked to different people and network, and that's how I started to learn. And fortunately for you guys, now there's a lot more opportunities and educational resources for you guys to learn, right? Now, of course, still have to be very careful because, you know, unfortunately, there's still a lot of scams that are out there. But if you connect yourself with the right people, you can ensure you are getting involved and you're not letting this miss you, just like the other amazing opportunities that we've had, okay? Now, number 5, and probably the most important one, and this one is something I think people kind of underestimate the power of. And before I just jump into that, real quick, does anybody have like sunglasses or eyeglasses as well as a $20 bill? Anybody? Just quickly, if you do, just bring it up for me. Glasses, there's a pair of glasses and a $20 bill. Okay, thank you. Anybody have a $20 bill? Just bring it up. Anybody? Just real quick. Cash. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, I always like to do this example, and the main reason for that is nobody asked me what it was for. They just heard me asking for what I wanted. And that's literally why the 5th rule, the most important rule, is to ask for what you want. Because the truth is, if you ask for it, a lot of times you get it. Literally, that's what I just did. I'm going to give it back, don't worry. But the truth is, you need to ask for what you want. Put it out there, because the fact is, when you put it out there, you are attracting those pieces. Every single thing, and I actually look back, and I have a vision board that I've had for years now. But if I look at it, I've been able to check a lot of those things off because I visualized it. I have it in front of me all the time. And even when it comes to something simple as networking, even at an event like this, when you're networking, there's two types of networking, I like to say. There's networking where you're just going there, giving people your business cards, or you're getting business cards, and it's kind of the same conversations, oh, what do you do? What do you do? And that's kind of it, right? Then there's the other side to it, where you are going in, understanding what it is that you are looking for, and you're going in having conversations, and you're telling people what it is you're looking for and what you want. You're asking for what you want. And that, once again, is how you're going to get those things that you're looking for. Because you can't get it if people don't know what you want, or if you don't know what you want, but you have to ask for it. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Perfect. So I'm going to give this back to those ladies. Appreciate it. Give them a round of applause. I know, right? Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. But like I said, asking for what you want is so, so, so important, and it works every single time in every opportunity. Now, before I jump into the exciting crypto stuff, of course, I wanted to share some resources that have made such a big difference in my own personal journey, right? Number one, 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. I highly recommend taking a picture of this screen because these tools are life-changing. 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. I have it on Audible, so I love audiobooks. I think it's powerful. Being able to hear the author's voice is amazing. Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell, another powerful, powerful tool. And literally any audio or video by Les Brown is amazing when it comes to building up that self-confidence and tackling the self-doubt piece. Then we have Money in the Law of Attraction. I also put up there, BlackBerry had a really great documentary that I thought was powerful. And then I also put LinkedIn because I feel like LinkedIn is so underrated at the same time. You can use it it's such a great tool for your business, for your career, for just networking in general, and people are not utilizing it, right? A lot of people that I know that are on, all these other social media platforms, I'm like, it doesn't even matter how many people follow you nowadays. It's all about how many people are you connected to on LinkedIn. Like, that's what I want to know, because that's what's really powerful, okay? But, jumping in a little bit more is I want to kind of also remind you guys, too. Actually, let me go back a little bit. One of the things I also wanted to share with you guys is the conversations and the exciting pieces about the crypto and blockchain space, okay? I know a few of you said that you are maybe invested or you've heard of blockchain technology, and I want to share with you guys some of the most important and exciting opportunities in this industry right now. Now, number one, of course, a lot of people might invest, right, where you're actually going to these apps or these websites, and you're able to actually buy some cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum and hold on to it because, of course, they're seen as a store of value, which is really great. But there's also other opportunities in the tech side of things. And so when we think about the technology, and we think about blockchain specifically, to keep it very, very simple, think of it as a chain of blocks. And within every single block, it's almost like a timestamp of the transactions, right? A lot of times people refer to it as like a public ledger, right? So I'll give you an example. If you go to the bank and you do a transaction, right, you can't necessarily see, that transaction step by step of where those funds are going, right, in terms of the whole process, right? If I want to send, let's say, you funds right now, and let's say we're using cryptocurrency, all I need is like your address, and I can send it to you instantly. Doesn't matter where you're located, doesn't matter how much. If it's $1 million, I can send it instantly, regardless. And even though I got into the space of crypto, like I said, I invested, and I was excited because I'm like, $300 turned to like $900, that's exciting. The part that really, really was a game changer is when I had a conversation with one of the co-founders of Ethereum, Anthony Diario, who's also based in Toronto. He was literally talking to me and saying, there's actually so many people around the world that are actually unbanked, that don't have access to financial services, that can't get a bank account or a mortgage or credit. And it's like, how do you operate? How do you get a house? How do you get a car or anything without those pieces and that accessibility? Now, with something like cryptocurrency, it's you now having the opportunity to be your own bank. As long as you have access to internet, you can now operate and have access to financial services. And that's the part that was really life-changing. not only for me to understand that, but people around the world, that's how they're operating right now, right? I have a lot of students in South Africa and Nigeria, and literally that's all they really rely on because their local currency is not that great. And so all they really focus and use is peer-to-peer, right? Cryptocurrency to go back and forth because that's what they trust as value right now. So it's bigger than just investing. It's about really changing the dynamic of the financial sector, right? I'll give you another example of the technology. Is anybody here in real estate or interested in the real estate industry? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Imagine that you want to purchase a property using, let's say, your crypto that you've invested, but instead of taking out those funds that you've invested, imagine being able to use, let's say, your Bitcoin investment as collateral for a mortgage. I'm going to say that again because I don't know if you guys caught it, but it's very powerful. Imagine you have funds that's actually invested in, let's say, Bitcoin. And instead of taking those funds out so that you can use that towards, maybe your down payment or anything like that, imagine being able to use that investment as collateral for a mortgage. So now you're still invested in that asset, but you don't have to take it out and lose your position in that cryptocurrency, right, which is powerful. So we have innovations like crypto mortgages, which is really exciting. We have amazing innovations where people are using blockchain technology in healthcare when it comes to making the information more transparent, right? Imagine you go to the doctor, and instead of having to give them all of your information, you're able to choose which information they have access to, the ones that are necessary, versus them having all of your information. These are some of the things that we're able to do with some of this technology. And what I always recommend and tell people, especially if you're new to the industry, think about the specific area or industry that you're currently in. Start to do some research on how are people using the technology in that space, and then figure out how you can also get involved. Because the truth is, this technology can be used in any and every industry, right? Whether it's sports, fashion, healthcare, real estate, you name it, there are companies, large companies, that are already using the technology in that space, which is why it's so powerful and so exciting at the same time. So there's a lot of great information. There's a lot of great tools. For anybody that's interested in any tools, feel free to scan the QR code there, and you'll be able to get access to a lot of the resources and tools that I like to use when it comes to the blockchain cryptocurrency space as well. But the point of a lot of it is not only being able to understand the timing with this industry, but also understanding that, and hopefully through showcasing my journey of where I started versus where I am right now, you're able to see that there's some important elements that can also help you in your journey, right? Regardless of what it is you're trying to build, whether it's your career or whether it is your business or anything else, there's so much opportunities for you. And so, in closing, just gonna add this last piece here. I always want you guys to remember that, number one, you are enough. A lot of times we're building these businesses, these careers, these opportunities, and we get lost. We start comparing ourselves. I'm guilty of that. Comparing ourselves to what we see on social media, comparing ourselves to people around us. And so remembering that we are enough is important. Number two, you are already attracting your success, right? Speaking it and putting it out there is just one part of it, but it's the important part and the important piece. And then, of course, number three, you are better today than you were yesterday. A lot of times, like I said, we are our toughest critics. And when we are able to remember the fact that, hey, it's about steady, slow and steady is really how you're going to win, right? It's not about being able to jump from point A all the way to Z. It's about being able to be consistent and taking advantage of every opportunity on a day-to-day basis. And that goes for investing, right? Compound interest is important. And it's all day by day by day. And lastly, you deserve the best. I know, especially as a woman in tech, or even as women, sometimes we see great opportunities and we're not sure, do we deserve these pieces? Do we deserve that new role? Do we deserve that success that we just acquired in our business? But the truth is we do. And this is me reminding you that you do deserve it, right? 100% you do. And I want to also end with this last amazing quote, my favorite quote. Does anybody know this quote, just by show of hands? Okay, perfect. I love it. I love it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Amazing, amazing quote. And it's so true. So one more time for me. I want you to say it with me. It's possible. Oh, let's try it one more time. We need some more energy for that. Let's try that again. One more time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's worth it. One more time. It's possible. It's necessary. And it's worth it. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ashley Wright, please. So, Miss Ashley, are you taking any question today? Yeah? So do we have some question in the room? Any question for Miss Ashley today? Yeah? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. You were mentioning one of your tips that with real estate that you might be able to, there's companies where you can do transactions with. Can you give us any examples or any of the other industries that you said that Bitcoin can be exchanged for? I'd love to know more.
Yeah, definitely. So using the example with like real estate with blockchain technology, there's actually a lot of different ways it can be used. So the example that I gave was more specific to, let's say, the crypto mortgage piece. But then we also have another terminology they call tokenization, which is the process of taking physical assets, so it could be property, land, actually could be like any asset, and turning it into a digital asset. And now, sometimes people might think, why would you want to turn a physical asset into a digital asset? But it's really turning the ownership into a digital asset, right? And so we think about being able to actually track who actually owns which piece of land, right? Making sure that that information is correct, it's valid information. This is where blockchain really comes in, because all the information on a blockchain is secured, it's valid, and for the most part can't be hacked, right? So you can really trust the information, and it's transparent, which means anybody at any time can see that information. And so when I gave the example about sending someone cryptocurrency, what I absolutely love is you can actually see, they have what you call like an explorer, which is kind of like literally, you can actually see where the funds came from, which wallet address the funds went to, the time it was sent. You can see everything is very visual and very transparent when it comes to transactions, right? So very different compared to the traditional system. And so that's why a lot of people are using blockchain technology. But even more specifically to that point, being able to track ownership is really important. So we have a lot of that that's happening right now. I'd also mention, too, another area, still within the tokenization space, there's a lot of companies, financial institutions that are looking to turn a lot of the other traditional assets, such as stocks, bonds, treasuries, all of that is now going to be digital and connected using blockchain technology. So companies are using it, and there's so many different ways to use it in different industries. It's mainly about thinking of the industry that you're currently in, and then thinking, or kind of doing some research to see how are people using it, how are companies using it. And right now, we're literally so early where a lot of the conversations are like on the back end, right? Because sometimes technology takes time, right? Larger companies kind of get involved, and then it kind of slowly trickles down where the everyday average person starts to understand or hears about it, right? And so with this technology, I think it's the same thing. There's not a lot of people that really know about it or how to get involved. And the truth is, and this is a bit of a side note, there's actually millions and millions of dollars of funding that's in the blockchain sector. So if you have a business idea, or you're looking to build some type of application, and maybe there's a way for you to actually use blockchain technology in your business, there's so much funding opportunities because a lot of these blockchain companies want to get people involved in this industry. So there's a lot of opportunities to get mentorship, get access to grant funding that can help you to build out those ideas regardless of the industry. But yeah, great question. Awesome. Any other questions?
No? So thank you so much, Ms. Ashley, and thank you for your beautiful insight about the cryptocurrency. I told you she was so talented, and the way she expressed that so easily, like she's just dancing, right? She is really brilliant. So please, just connect with her if you need any more insight, and she will really be happy. And thank you to ICTC to putting up somebody's that much talented for us today. And of course, this is Black Excellence. Thank you, Ashley. And ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. After all that money, coins, bitcoins, cryptocurrency, and all those, what about taking a break and then coming back for the workshop? Okay? Okay. See us in a couple of minutes, 5-minute breaks. Thank you. What a beautiful day we are having so far. What a beautiful day we are having so far, right? Yes? I think Ashley says yes or yes. Right? Yes. I think I'm going to go for that too. Yes or yes. I love it. Thank you so much. We love you guys. And we just want to invite you to have a seat so then we can move forward with the workshop, please. Nous allons vous inviter, s'il vous plaît, à rejoindre vos places assises. Et puis, nous allons commencer avec le petit atelier qui va vraiment impliquer notre participation. Le moment est venu pour nous de participer un peu plus. The workshop is coming. So we can now give our own insight. We can participate a little bit more. So if you guys can just join your place and then have a seat, and we will start with the workshop in a couple of minutes now. Thank you. So you can come back in the big room, join us, bring your coffee or tea or juice, it's okay. So let's just come back in the big room and then we can start the next part. The next part is starting right now. You can just have a seat, grab a chair, have a seat, and then let's move forward in the program. The days, it's going slowly to the end, and now come the time for us to participate during the workshop. So the workshop is starting. Merci beaucoup de nous rejoindre dans la grande salle, s'il vous plaît. Veuillez prendre vos places. Et dans quelques instants, l'atelier va commencer. Nous allons commencer notre petit atelier. Et puis, je peux voir beaucoup de marqueurs qui sont prêts. Nous allons participer. We are going to participate a lot during the workshop. So, you guys get ready, okay? So, the workshop topic will be charting a path forward, retooling the playing field. This is the topic of the workshop, okay? So the topic again is charting a path forward, retooling the playing field. Et en français, atelier tracer la voie de l'avenir, réinventer les règles du jeu. So we have to retool the playing field. The game, how to retool it, all of us are going to participate.